All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. Again, with me today is a very special guest, and I can't wait to introduce her to you. She is very purposeful and she's very passionate about empowering you to discover and express your best self as you create the life that you love. She is 3 times award-winning transformational coach, international speaker, author, and a minister who has helped thousands create path of their dream and life. Over 20 years, Felicia has worked with people from all walks of life who are seeking the spiritual side of success. As highly sought out after international speakers, she's has shared the stage with powerful houses leaders such as Mary Mornessay, founder of the CEO of E-Women Network, Sandra Yancey, and an international motivational speaker as famous as Les Brown. She also has been featured on ABC, CBS, NBC, and Fox. Her proven dream activation code helps folks like yourself accelerate your results as you create a richer, more fulfilling life. Please help me welcome Felicia Siri. Felicia, welcome to the show. Thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
being here with
Yeah.
us.
And just it's Searcy. There's a C in there. So Felicia
Searcy.
Searcy. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. Yes, Felicia Searcy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
My joy and delight to be here with you all today.
Yes, thank you very much. So let's dive right in. Felicia, can you tell us and share with us your story and what has really inspired you to do what you do today?
Yeah. So, when I think about that, one of the things that I have become aware of that, um, you know, growing up for me, it was dark. Both my parents struggled with mental illness. There was addiction, a great deal of abuse. I've done tons of forgiveness work. I know my parents did the absolute best that they could. And it wired in a particular frame of reference of life, right? Um, I developed a frame of reference around life that life was not safe. Life was scary. Not to expect too much. To keep your head below, down below the radar. And so, life became hard. It was just hard, and that's all I expected from it. And I'll never forget that I was standing. I remember when this happened. I was teaching school. I went back to the high school that I graduated from in Louisiana, and I was doing hall duty. And I saw all these kids in this massive hall, and I was 22 years old. And I just saw this long hall, and all I could see was the rest of my life of that long hall of despair and darkness and hopelessness. And in that moment, I thought, man, there's got to be a different way. That I can't continue this. That if this is it, then, I got to find a way out. And it was in that moment, and I know it's such a cliche where it says that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. I was in that moment of ripeness, and it was in shortly thereafter that I discovered a whole new way of being. I discovered that there truly is a power at work in and through every single one of us, that we were created and designed to thrive, that we are not defined by our history, that we truly can create our future. I was introduced to a set of spiritual principles, spiritual laws that are immutable laws that govern our results. And I realized that I have the power in my fingertips to unlock the power that was me and actually this life force energy seeking to express through me. And I began to apply it. And my gosh, you had to have a telescope to see where I was. At every area of my life got better. And it caused me to stop and pause, to pause and look at, wow, this was a system. It was a very specific step by step, not that it's necessarily linear, but a step by step structure that caused me to transform my experience of life. Didn't change my history, but it transformed my experience of life in order for me to be able to live a off the chart dynamic life in every area of my life. And I realized that in that moment, I wanted to dedicate my life to helping other people unlock this power and put it in service to a life that they love, understanding this is our highest contribution to the body of humanity.
Oh my goodness. I want to say, message is so clear, to me, to have hear you say what you said just now, is that entrepreneurship is such a spiritual process, and it has
Yes.
been, for me, so much more so now than even when I first launched it. When I first launched it, I just thought it was a way of making a living, because I came from, working brick and mortar businesses, and it was really hard, and it was just trying to find a way to that next step, so we can just really sustain ourselves, to be honest. But for you to say that, I want to share with the audience that if you are called to be a business owner, it is truly a spiritual process that you're actually embarking on.
Here's the thing to understand. So often we think when we're called into entrepreneurship, right, that you have a deep desire to bring impact through your work. Otherwise, you wouldn't be on
Yeah.
this summit. To understand that that's not your desire, that that is actually life force energy seeking to wake you up to more of who you are created to be. You are this unlimited being with unlimited capacity to create. It's breathtaking, the power that we wield at our fingertips. And the only way that this divine intelligence has of waking us up to want to develop more of that amazingness of each one of us and develop this power is to put a desire in our heart. And there's nothing like putting spiritual growth on steroids than to want to build a business.
Yes.
So to understand that the real purpose is to help you wake up to more of who you are created to be. Yes, you bring your amazing service. Yes, you serve with the wealth that you grow. I love the organizations that we're able to give to them. My company has generated millions of dollars over the last several years in an industry where less than 10% cross the six-figure mark. I love being able to write those checks to organizations that are deeply meaningful for me. And the real gift for any of us is the growth that you experience and who you become in the process, what you discover about yourself. That's the true transformation, not just for you, but what you're offering others.
Yes, it's beautiful. And so if for some of us who are just starting the journey or have been in it for, I would say, a few years, and have been challenged, as you
Yeah.
know already, right? Like, we have been challenged with the pandemic this past couple of years, and looks like we're heading into a really interesting time as well. What do you have to say to us, having your experience and, all of this? What are some of your advice in how we can navigate, our
Yeah.
current situation?
Yeah. Well, so what's so fascinating about this, right? So I had my childhood, had, how I grew up. Things got better, stepped in, got super clear that this was the work that I was called to do. And within my first year, we had a brick and mortar. My husband was doing really well in our brick and mortar. We didn't really need my income. And Dee Dee, my first year of building this business, my husband got critically ill. And we didn't know if he was going to make it. Insurance stopped covering his illness. I was also taking care of my dad, who was Alzheimer's, and who's bipolar. That was the mental illness. And I had a brother dying of brain cancer, all within the first year. It would have been so easy to put it on hold and say, these are signals from the universe that I shouldn't be doing this right now. And the thing that I want you to hear is that life is going to happen when you're building a business. When you're following your purpose, when you're following your heart's desire, the universe doesn't part the seas and say, all right, everything is going to go perfect in order to support you. Life continues to happen. And the thing that I want you to really understand is that we don't have any control over the timing. When it's time for this work to come through you, doesn't matter what's going on in the rest of your life. It's time to put focus on that. And as you do that, you'll discover elements about yourself that will allow you to be present for the other dynamics that are going on in your life in a way that you would not have been able to if you put your business on hold. It's really quite, it's so counterintuitive that it feels selfish. It feels like that you're neglecting your responsibilities. And what I'm telling you is that when you own what's seeking to come through you and you understand that you're putting service first, you're serving this desire, you're serving this dream, you're serving the energy of love, you will be amazed at the guidance and the support and the source of supply that comes to you in order to be able not only to build your business, but to be able to be present for the other elements and the other dynamics in your life. There's a saying, there is no private good. There is no private good. What's good for you is good for everybody in your life. Doesn't mean that they always agree with it. Doesn't mean that they're always going to be comfortable with it. When you follow that guidance, you are following the energy of love, and love then is able to enfold your entire life and work through you in ways that you won't even be able to recognize.
And what is so amazing, what you said really hit home for me was definitely that. It's I am also at moments, I have a family, and of course most of the audience are listening who are women in business and moms, working moms. And yes, I had a moment where I know truly I'm really called to do what I'm doing. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sitting here. But at the same time, it's a lot of work and much more work that can I really anticipate. And that, like you said, how the divine or the universe or whatever the person listening to chooses to believe in, I was delivered the answers that I always have been seeking for running a successful business, hiring more people, the right people. And even in my personal life, everybody showed up all at the same time. So interestingly. And if it wasn't for my love for what I do, the love for the family, because of whatever it I want to do, I wouldn't be able to take on all of the things. I hired everybody.
Yeah.
And I was able to attend a PTA meeting yesterday. I'm like now feel so involved with my kids' schools and the community. I'm now talking to how I can volunteer more of my time to, teenage moms who is more of like a Christian-based community. Like it's so incredible how I could never imagine like having
Yeah.
figured out like what I figured out. And I don't think I figured anything out. I just got delivered what I needed. And I think the message here is that so clear was operating from love instead of fear. Because I could have been fearful, oh my gosh, how am I going to pay all these people? Like what if they don't work out? All the fears that I used to have, like you said, you'll pass. So I've had to fire the people before, and I hired the wrong people, and the business went down, and they went back up, all of the things. But truly, I think what got me on the path and staying firm on the path is definitely love. I
That's
mean,
it. And when we talk about love, it's learning how to work with the most powerful question that you can work with, which is, what would I love? What would I love? Understanding that it is love itself seeking to express through the answer to that question through you. And when you get clear, and I love that you said there's no figuring it out. There is no figuring it out. It's a matter of allowing yourself to be accessible to this divine intelligence. And when you allow yourself to receive, one of the things that I often hear people say, I'm just going to put it out to the universe. Well, it's backwards. It's it's backwards, because you're receiving. What you do is that you make yourself accessible to this life force energy to hear the answer to what would I love, understanding that with that answer comes everything required in order to bring it into fulfillment. You just have to stay devoted to that image, to that vision. And and that's the whole thing that I walk people through, how to do that. But just the high points, the high level of this. And when we're talking about where do you even get started by honoring the dream that's seeking expression through you, and understand that it really is something so much bigger than you, and you don't have to figure it out. All you got to do is to become willing to receive, to listen, and to deepen your trust in that power and that guidance working through you.
Oh my
And it's
goodness.
good for everybody to understand that it's truly. I love that you realize that, wow, I have time, right? That you took the steps, those bold steps, Dee Dee, to create that environment, to give yourself time to go hang out with your kids and be a part of PTA. It's not an either or.
Yes,
It's not even a both and. It's not this way or that way. It's a third way. And to make ourselves accessible to that third way, that who you are today won't be able to figure out. But as you stay faithful to that dream, you grow into that person who can receive the third way that is truly expansive in all areas of your life.
yeah, I love that what you just said, because of course my history, my traumas and everything taught me, yes, it's either or,
Yeah.
right? And then when I start doing the work, like you said, and now doing the work, still continuing to do the work, the next level to that was yes and. But what I love, what you said, even then, that like that next level is, what's that third level? Is yes and then what else?
That's it.
It's almost like it's infinite in terms of the potential of what we're able to do. And what I really love, and I think what's really getting more real each day, is that I'm not doing this alone. Like it's I did actually when I first started my business, but
Mhm.
the longer I'm in it, like that, the many more people are actually now involved in this whole thing, and that includes you, believe it
Yeah.
or not. Right? That includes the person that literally just drove by and picked up my trash. Like we're all as part of like a collective consciousness that we really do truly belong, to each other, and to support each other, and to collaborate, and to really truly express. And yes, and there's no other way of doing it than entrepreneurship, I feel like. And
Well, there's lots of ways of doing it, right? But when you get clear about how you want to do it and that you want to do it easily, then you make your and what you're talking about. And the more you're able to understand that it's a system, that there is a spiritual system that will allow you to create the field where you become that woman, that you are the woman that attracts that kind of support into your life, that you're able to receive that kind of support in your life. And it doesn't happen to you, it happens through you and with you, right? And you grew to that woman, Dee Dee, that allowed that kind of support in your life. There's a lot of entrepreneurs out there slugging it out, and it's not fun, right? You can't do it that way. And when people don't understand that there is a spiritual system to create the kind of life and the results that you long to experience, and you become intentional in learning that system, now things become so much easier and just more fun. It's just more fun.
yes, definitely. And so with that said, I really want to really segue into your spiritual success system. Could you tell us just a short preview of what that looks like? And of course, like how the audience can get more connected with you and being a part of your community as well, because this is incredible work that you are doing, Felicia.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so in a nutshell, understand that we've been given this unprecedented power to create, that we have the ability to actually create images in our imagination. We're the only species on the planet that we are aware of that can consciously choose images. Those images have a magnetic pole to them. They literally have a vibration. There is a field of energy around us that is responsive and generative to the predominant movie that we are impressing into this invisible field. A lot more explanation to that, but that's in a nutshell. So knowing that, you get clear that you really design your dream. That's the first step in my spiritual success system, that you use this power to consciously design what you're going to see in your imagination. Understand the purpose of that is to grow you, so you begin to build a relationship with the woman who has already achieved this. As you're doing that, you understand that the purpose of your dream is to grow you and for you to bring increase as the new person as you are. That process, you're generating a state, which leads us to step 4, which is to activate your brilliance. You're activating the connection between you and life force energy so you can hear the guidance of your action steps, take those action steps as that person who's already created it, and it's all within a container of masterminding with a partner in believing and a expert mentor. You put all those things together, then watch just as your momentum builds and your life transforms. So that's the system in like 30 seconds or less. But it's a lifetime to learn it, right?
Yes, yes, absolutely. And I am so, so excited. And thank you so much on behalf of the audience. Truly, thank you. We're so grateful that you are so kind to share that gift to all of us, which is the spiritual success
Yeah.
system. And for you to be able to download that would be on Felicia's website, which is www.felicia with an F. Searcy, which is Searcy as her last name, .com/spiritual success. I want to say that one more time, www.felicia with an F. So FELICIASEARCY.com/spiritual success. And that's when you can download the success system, begin to really embark on the journey of really turning your purpose into your mission, and then ultimately reap whatever profit and success that you dream to have. Thank you again so much, Felicia, for being
It's
with
my
us today.
joy.
Yes, what a joy, and so much work that you have done in contribution to all of us, to humanity, and to yeah, to women in business in general. Thank you for everything.
Thank you, Dee Dee.